No, absolutely, absolutely. Beastie, oh boy, I'm sure you won't mind me saying that you've been watching the Wednesday longest out of all of us. Since way back when, before football's made out of pigs' bladders. So, I mean, have you ever known a season like this one?
Well, as you know, or as most people know, my memory goes back 20 minutes. Um, but yeah, it's just it seems to be the season that just continues giving and giving. Just when you think it's all over, the following week we're back in it. I think back to that game at Stevenage when we lost 5-1, and I were at my wits' end, and I thought this team is going nowhere. And from that point, that game was a turning point in our season. I think we went 16 games unbeaten from that point. It would, it just, it never ceases to amaze me. And last week, when we played Carlisle, halfway through the game, I thought it was over until the last few seconds, and it's back on. It's just been a wonderful season from start to finish.
I'd absolutely echo that, Beastie. This is the best season I can remember as a Wednesday fan. I know we've had better ones objectively, but I were a kid when we had the big Ron side. So yeah, I remember it. I enjoy it. But this is my first season in 15 years as an adult fan saying this is brilliant. Every single Saturday going to watch Wednesday, you expect us to put on a performance, to win. Not always score a hatful of goals, but win and win well and dominate teams. But more importantly, we've got a fan base that's united. I hate to use that word, but we are. We're together as one. We've got a squad that are playing for each other, that are playing for a manager, and we're being led right from the top, from Milan Mandaric down. Everyone in this club is pointing in the same direction and driving towards promotion, towards success, towards being bigger and better and more together. It's just been a brilliant experience being a Wednesday night this year.
You see, you think back to them great sides under Big Ron, and we did definitely, as Eddie says, we were a fantastic footballing side. We had international players, world famous players. But this season isn't just about us, and I know it pains me to say it, but part of what's made this season so good is the opposition and being so close to the blades at the top. And now the drama, the theatre of overtaking them last week and putting it to bed on Saturday, that is what's made this season.
So let's Jets, on we go. Cracking little bit of news. It's not exactly, it's sort of Wednesday related, of course. Mr. Ben Marshall, our wonderful loanee that we had at the beginning of the season, did an absolutely belting job for us down that wing. He's won a Young Player of the Season. Absolutely fantastic. Well deserved, do you think, Beastie?
Yeah, without a doubt. I know he hasn't been with us since the turn of the year, but no Wednesday fan will want to forget his contribution to this season. And all being well, when we go up on Saturday, he will have been a key part of that. And just thinking back to when he was with us, he were absolutely scintillating running down that wing. And I know Medine stated publicly that he missed him, and he missed the crosses that he was putting. He missed the feed that was giving him. Fortunately, we've replaced him with a bit of quality with Antonio, but let's not underestimate the value that Marshall was to this side.
Yeah, one of the best things for me, actually, is last Saturday, or the Saturday before last, when we were playing Carlisle, Ben Marshall came along to watch us, and he came to see the lads after. He's obviously very, very fond of the squad. He still feels a part of it, and I'm sure he's going to be there on Saturday, and he's going to be part of the celebrations, because, yeah, as much as anybody, that first half of the season, actually putting that run together and keeping ourselves right up there in the hunt for the automatic spots, he was the key part of that. As much as Antonio's come and done a fantastic job, Ben Marshall has been a massive part of the success that we've had this season.
I think no one would be more chuffed than Ben Marshall. I mean, obviously there was a bit of in January when it was, is he staying, is he going to go? Obviously there was a little bit of, I wouldn't say controversy there, but it did sort of go on a bit long, and I think it kind of made everyone lose focus a bit. But like you say, you've got to remember the job he did the first half of the season, and I think he would have loved to come back to this club if the situation was a little bit different. But as you said, he still wants this club to do well. He'll probably be there on Saturday cheering us on, and I think he'll be looking forward to playing against Wednesday again next season. But I just hope that his replacement, Antonio, who in fairness has done as good a job, if not better than Marshall perhaps, obviously he's fresher in the mind, but I just hope that we can keep Antonio next season. That's one of our biggest outlets, with obviously Marshall not there anymore.
It's going to be interesting to see, actually, as we move into, hopefully, preparation for a season in the Championship, whether we're going to be able to keep this squad together. You know, there's every chance that Danny Barth is going to be signed to a club who's in the same division as us. Now, whether that means that they're less likely to want him to be at Sheffield Wednesday, or whether it means that we're actually going to be in a stronger position as far as putting in a bid for him and saying, look, you know, we want Danny Barth as a permanent part of this, a fixture at Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, he's got to be the sort of player that we're looking at, a young, physical player who is going to develop under Dave Jones. And I would say the advantage is that we've now got Dave Jones, who already knows him, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big help. And obviously at Wolves, the manager situation's up in the air. We can't really make too much comment about whether Danny Barth will stay or not, but I think if you ask Danny Barth himself, he's obviously enjoyed himself at Wednesday. He probably considers himself to be a Wednesday player, having been here for, a season and a half now. He was on loan back end of the season before as well. So it'll be an interesting one to make. Like I say, Wednesday will be keen to get him in, but obviously he's a talented young player. He's had a good season, so will Wolves try and hold him to ransom, or will they think, yeah, we need to start again, let's get our young players in, let's get Danny Barth in the Wolves team? So
it's going to be very much dictated by the way that Milan and Paul Aldridge actually want to play this. You know, is it going to be an attempt to get straight through the Championship in the same way that Norwich and Southampton have done, or whether the idea is to maybe consolidate a little bit, not in the old sense of let's just stay in the division, but let's find our feet and go for a promotion tilt, maybe in year 2.
I think the biggest fear for a lot of Wednesday fans is that we're going to go up, and then Milan's going to be looking straight away to sell. Do you see that as part of his plan?
I can't imagine that Milan Mandaric has got. It sounds silly, but so little ambition. You know, realistically, for him to really realise a return on his investment, he wants to sell Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League. Yeah. The day that we go up to the Championship, he can probably make his money back and a little bit on top. But at this time in his life, he wants to see a real big windfall, doesn't he? You know, Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship, we're probably worth 20 million, 25 million, something like that. Sheffield Wednesday in the Premiership, it's another order of magnitude. So I'd be very surprised, forgetting all of the emotion around it, and Milan clearly absolutely loves being at the helm of Sheffield Wednesday at the moment. Putting all that to one side, it doesn't make business sense, and Milan Mandaric is a businessman.
My one question with Milan would be, obviously, with the court case that happened with Harry Redknapp. He came out after the court case and he kind of asked the question himself whether he's still got what it takes to carry on in football, and there was a kind of question mark then whether he would step down either then or at the end of this season. I like to think that he's now definitely got that back. I mean, the Dave Jones decision to bring him in the first place, that was obviously controversial, but you look at it now, it looks like a masterstroke, and I think that might just maybe give Milan the fillip that he needs to move on and say, yeah, this club's got back in the Championship, it belongs in the Premier League, I want to be at the helm to see that happen. So,
well, I look at it, this Saturday could be a key point for Milan Mandaric. He could be in that ground on Saturday and seeing it that full and that noisy, and the potential is right there in front of him. You're no longer thinking, what can we do? It's there, right in front of him, 39,000, 38,000, whatever it is, all singing, all shouting, all chanting. If ever he was going to get back on side, if ever he was going to rediscover any lost dreams or thoughts that he had for football, Saturday is the day that he gets it all back.
And I don't know whether there's any way that Milan Mandaric can't fall in love with the club. He sees Hillsborough, 39,000, blue and white everywhere, everyone noisy, packed out for a final day, celebrating hopefully promotion on a beautiful sunny day in May. This is the sort of thing that football dreams are made of. And if he's not in it for games like this and days like this, then what is he in it for?
Eddie, I think you're dreaming a little bit there, to be honest. A sunny day in Sheffield. Have you seen it recently?
Yeah, of course, ladies and gents, as we were saying, back to the Team One, sorry, I do apologise, the League One Team of the Year has been announced. Rather short on Owls. Absolutely unbelievable. I'd assume that Mr. Danny Barth could walk into any team in the country, League One or not. What do we think about that, chaps? No Owls in the team of the season.
I think I'm right in saying that this is voted for by the players themselves. So we won't try and get into the psychology of what players A have in their mind and B know about football. But I don't know. You get the impression from other teams this season that there's been a little bit of Wednesday bully boys, this kind of stuff. They play ugly football. I wonder whether that's come into it. Maybe that kind of perception of the team. But yeah, I think frankly the likes of Danny Bart and Jose Semedo. Obviously, we're going to be biased as Wednesday fans, but I've not seen better players than them all season. So that their omission is baffling to me.
And another thing, ugly football don't come any uglier than Stephen Quinn.
Have you seen Nick Montgomery?
Yeah, good point. Well made.
So do we think it's just the admission of Mr. Bart and Mr. Semedo? I mean, obviously.
Well, you won't convince me that them two can't walk into any side in this division, and probably most of the sides in the division above. Those two have been absolute quality. I've got that League One Team of the Year in front of me. And I'd substitute them for, I'd substitute Danny Bat for any of those back four. And the same with Semedo, he'd walk into any midfield. Every single team in this division needs a Semedo, right? It's what we've been waiting years for, and now we've got him. And to not see him in that team, well, it's a disgrace.
Yeah,
you've got any League One Team of the Year that has got Darren Potter in it and Jose Semedo not in it, clearly there's a flaw there.
Absolutely, gents. Unbelievable. So, yes, we know that's wrong, so the less said the better. Nanas to them. Ha! On our next little news item, then, ladies and gents, and of course there will be an extra special match day programme for the last game of the season, a 100-page special programme. And now, of course, it has been an absolutely marvellous season, and this would be a collector's item for any Wednesday night. But of course, the price should be popped up to £5. What do we think? Sound investment, gents? Is that something that's going to be worth £1 gajillion in a few years' time? Are we happy paying a little bit extra for a special programme, Beastie?
For a game of this importance, for a season of this importance, it has to be a special programme. And anybody that doesn't get one, especially if you're there, you will regret it. I promise you, you will regret it. It might be £5, but it will be worth every penny. And you'll look back on this season, and you'll look back at that programme, and you will relive the memories, and it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm an absolute programme geek. I've got every single programme since the day I was born, even going back to collect painfully every single one from 1977 and 1978, when we were just as terrible as we were in 2003 and 2004. So yeah, I'm obsessive about this. I will be collecting one, and I'm going to be buying it and then putting it straight back in my car because I can't bear to curl it up. So yeah, I would urge everybody. This season is the most memorable one that certainly I can remember. So keep it, guard it, treasure it, and take it out and read it in the downstairs toilet.
Eddie, I didn't have you down as comic store guy.
I'm going to say
when it comes to Wednesday, I am.
Shall it be bagged and boarded? Do we need a geek hooter here, boys? A special alarm for...
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of geek alarm there.
Can I just add at this point, Japs? I think, a 100-page programme, it takes a hell of doing. And I think for a League One club, this club, it leads the way in many of the things it does. You look at the social media side of it, and obviously the stuff they're doing for this 100-page programme. I mean, the media team at the club is very small. We've had our off-the-field problems in the past, but I think we've got some absolutely brilliant people there, none more so than Trevor Braithwaite, the media officer, to put that kind of thing together. I know they've had a couple of weeks, it's been planned, but to put that kind of thing together, and it will be a fantastic thing. All fans are going to want that on Saturday. We'll probably sell out. Probably people will be ordering them for weeks and weeks afterwards. I think it's just a fantastic achievement to put that thing together, which shows, again, our club in a good light.
Massive shout out to both Trevor and to James Hargreaves. The stuff that's been done this season and the couple of seasons leading up to this, we are right up there. Believe you me, in terms of the media, the new media, the social stuff, and the programme. We are Premier League.
Absolutely.
I'll echo all of that. Trevor Braithwaite's transformed that programme. Before, it used to be like every other run-of-the-mill programme. It was just chock full of adverts. Now it's something that every football fan wants to read. That's the difference. It's no longer an advertising pamphlet. It's a Sheffield Wednesday product that people want to read.
Absolutely, and of course, if you've got as many of the programmes as it turns out Eddie has, who needs the yellow pages? Hey, boys.
Geek.
Geek.